Master of the Mountain is probably the most liked season in the newer era of the show. It's Cole's first and only season focused on him, unless you count Day of the Departed. I personally don't really care for this season, as I remember it being kind of repetitive and slow, but I would glad to be wrong. So let's see how it does. This season starts with everyone fixing up the monastery because they've been away for a long time on their adventures so far. Cole is playing Prime Empire with Unagami and Dyer apparently fixing the game's cubing problem. Wu is seeming a little down, not even scolding Jay for cheating on his chores. Lloyd checks in on his uncle, and Wu's quote, feeling his age. Seeing how the ninja's last adventures went, Wu feels like he isn't needed anymore, which I think is a nice idea to explore. The team gets a letter inviting them to a place called Shintaro, which definitely has been there this whole time. While everyone's excited to go, Wu doesn't know whether to go or not. Misako gives him a talking to, and he's pretty much forced to go. On the way, the ninja are attacked on the bounty by giant bats. How random. They start taking apart the sails, and the bounty almost goes down. Well, good season. Oh, they got saved by the people of Shintaro. This is King Vangelis, who rules the kingdom, and this is his daughter, Princess Vanya. There's a few callbacks to past seasons.
Competed in the Tournament of Elements?
Oh, do we have stories for you?
And Vanya seems to take a liking to Cole. The others are strangely weirded out that the princess likes Cole, which triggers Lloyd's trust issues. That night, a little purple guy sneaks into Cole's room and has a necklace with Cole's parents in it. Huh? Cole calls an emergency meeting, but the others don't really believe him. After everything they've seen? Seriously? Cole almost earth punches Vanya, and she actually believes Cole's tale. She tells Cole about the mines under Shintaro, which were controlled by an evil sorcerer. Cole wants to explore said mines, so Vanya goes with him. They discover a bunch of stuff, a castle and slaves. Oh, and also the villain of the season, the Skull Sorcerer. A little on the nose, but sure. Cole goes down to confront the Skull Guy, but his powers aren't working. He smashes a few skeletons, but due to magic, they reassemble. While the other ninja are admiring the kingdom, Vanya tells them about the stuff happening under Shintaro. They take this news to King Vangelis, who really doesn't want the ninja going down there. Cole's been locked up and forced into the slave trade. Vanya points the ninja in the right direction, but Wu doesn't go with them because, you know, sad. Turns out, there's a race war going on with the two species in the cave. This is Mert, part of the Munts, who becomes Cole's bestie. The ninjas stage their rescue plan, and it goes pretty well. They get Cole out of his cage, as well as the Geckos and Munts, but, you know, they hate each other. Fighting erupts, as it usually does, and they find their powers ineffective. All the conflict alerts the Skull Sorcerer, who recaptures everyone, including the ninja. The ninja recognize the material they're mining. It's Vengestone. So that's why their powers aren't working. Cole starts another fight with the skeleton guards, and everyone is locked up again. This is an aspect I dislike about the season. The ninja are in this repetitive loop of fighting, getting locked up, fighting some more. With most of the spotlight on Cole, the others don't really have much to do, so I can't help but think they're being sidelined. Mert brings some food, and the ninja decide to ask about their conflict. This Gecko fella tells them the story of a warrior who possessed two blades. These are important later. This warrior used these weapons to slay a dragon called Griefbringer, which is a cool name by the way. Doing so saved the Geckos and Munts, and she gave each species one of the blades. They've now gone missing, and the Geckos and Munts think the other stole their blade. Lloyd tries to arrange a meeting to come up with a plan, which surprisingly works. Cole and Lloyd do eventually find something, but it's not the blades. They are attacked, and another big battle begins. Again. We finally leave the stupid mining area, as the team is split up into little groups. Lloyd, Nia, and Jay are stuck with Mert and some other Munts. We follow them to the Munts' kingdom? I mean, they have a queen, and her English is a lot better. She takes a liking to Jay, but does not like Nia. The queen invites the ninja to dinner, but Jay accidentally makes the queen like him more. Nia gets very defensive over her husband, so the queen challenges her to a duel for Jay's love. This is all funny and all, but it feels a little fillerish. Nia gets some snazzy new armor, and gets rolled, unironically. She one-shots the queen with Spinjitzu, and now she's the queen of the Munts. Okay. Oh yay, another kind of filler episode. This time we follow Kai and Zane as they come across more Geckos. They are taken to the Gecko Chancellor, which is pretty much their leader. The Geckos are suspicious by the newcomers, so they put on a trial by Mino. What the hell is a Mino? Oh, it's one of those things. To not get crushed, Zane frees the Mino of its armor. The Geckos are also familiar with elemental powers, and vowed to help the ninja find the others. The Chancellor now elects Kai to be the new Chancellor, for no reason at all, but they throw rocks at him. This is literally all that happens in this episode. I'm sure they could have combined the last 2 episodes so we could have had one solid episode, then 2 boring ones. Vanya's chatting with her pet dragon, who has not been in this season so far, and comes out of nowhere. We catch up with Cole, and he's just hanging around. He almost falls to his doom, but I think Brother's forgetting he can control the earth. Those weird diabats take him further into the caves. I think he'd rather them over this giant spider he just came across. That's when Vanya all of a sudden shows up with her dragon pal. But how the hell did they know where Cole was? Anyway, Chompy grows and scares the spider away. She escorts Cole back to the surface, but when they tell Vangelis about everything happening down below, he reveals that he is the Skull Sorcerer and banishes their asses. Vangelis as a villain surprised me when I first saw this. It's not the most unexpected thing out there, but for some reason I didn't see it coming. Vangelis frames Vanya's disappearance on Chompy. That's not the most solid cover-up, but sure. This would have been a good time for those elemental dragons. Oh, wait, I forgot that they got rid of them. The trio eventually stopped falling, but are now stuck in spiderwebs. A few spiders show up, and they continue to fall. Yep, that's it. This season is just wasting its runtime. These 3 spend a whole episode falling into the earth. Nothing really happens except these guys showing up. Like, that was all just unnecessary. We get introduced to this D&D group and a flashback of how they ended up here. And yes, it's in that weird art style, but I still don't mind it. This is Corgran, who is probably one of my favorite characters in the show. He's just so charming to me, I don't know why. Oh, and there's other people too. They were all hired by Vangelis to retrieve an artifact so the king can destroy it. Plunder, Corgran, Fungus, and Adam navigated the caves of Shintaro and managed to find that artifact. Wait a minute. Yes, this is also a flashback showing how Vangelis became the Skull Sorcerer. Very cool. Before it can be destroyed, Vangelis betrays the adventurers and takes the skull. They've been stuck in the caves ever since. Cole uses his inspiring words to motivate the others to get off their asses. This is Cole showing off his leadership side, which is one of his best personality traits. He always seems to be able to rally people, like in season 4. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cole's mother? Where did she come from? This flashback shows that Cole's always been a fighter because he made a promise to his mum. The lowly are wandering around the caves, searching for a way out. Cole's pissed, but Wu thinks that his powers will be stronger down here since he's surrounded by his element. I guess Wu wasn't wrong. They find a way out. They need to cross this lava, with all the others being butts about it. Plunder proves to be right about being a butt, since there's a lava monster now. They defeat it, and Cole proves himself to be an effective leader. We are finally back to the other ninja. Both of the new leaders are trying to get the Geckles and Munts to go to a truce meeting, but remember, they're racist. Kai and Zane realize that this warrior everyone worships is Cole's mother Lily. To get ahead of the ninja's efforts, Vangelis resurrects Griefbringer, and I still think it's a wicked name. I'm sure that's not important though. Hey, the meeting is happening. Finally. All the ninja reunite, with their nations in tow. Oh shit, Griefbringer's here. Man, I know I said it before, but I love the way their elemental powers look in this era. Lloyd tries and fails to kill Griefbringer again, and they all flee. That lava monster has caught up with the lowly, so they are forced to use a minecart to escape. One generic minecart scene later, and now they're at a door. Wu recognizes the writing and puts together that this is a stronghold used by the elemental masters of Earth before Cole, and it houses the secrets to the Spinjitzu Burst, a more powerful Spinjitzu, which can only be accomplished while the user is surrounded by their element. The door will only open for an elemental master of Earth. Gee, aren't we lucky? Cole peeps a statue of Lily, and there's a stone mech. This really feels like product placement, just here so they can make a Lego set out of it. Cole tries to use the burst, but as you can imagine, it doesn't work. The mountain starts to shake, so Fungus casts a spell, showing what the other ninja are doing. Running for their lives, that's what. Cole is all down, and Wu finally overcomes his old man mood and creates a new philosophy.
Ninja never quit. And from this moment on, neither do masters.
Hell yeah, Wu. The Geckles, Munts, and Ninja retreat to a cave and try to make a reference.
You shall not
Be granted permission to traverse beyond this point.
They fight some skeletons and seal themselves in a cave. The petty squabble even annoys the Skull Sorcerer. Who knew it would take the threat of hard labor to get the Geckles and Munts to work together? They call a truce and prepare to fight, but Lloyd offers the ninja for the freedom of the other 2 species. Vangelis accepts, but takes them anyway. Oopsie. Once again, the ninja are taken. That's what, the 3rd time? Wu is rallying the lowly. They come up with a plan to use the mech to boost them to the surface, which goes to plan, until that lava monster shows up again. Cole absolutely decimates it, and they get to the surface again. Not in the most gracious fashion, but they get there at least. The guards try to arrest everyone, so you know some fighting is about to happen. Finally, we're actually moving the plot along. Cole watches as the ninja are being mocked by the Skull Sorcerer, and he confirms the ninja's suspicions by showing them the blades that the Geckles and Munts were fighting over. Yeah, he took them, so they were easier to conquer. The lowly split up. Corgran and Fungus free the Geckles and Munts, while Cole, Plunder, and Adam get the blades. Cole fights the Skull Sorcerer, and shit hits the fan. One long take later, and the ninja are freed. Cole's doing his best, and this is another great fight in the series. Cole believes that the blades have something special about them, which allowed his mum to defeat Griefbringer. They don't. Look, this is unfair! Everyone is starting to struggle with the constantly respawning skeletons. The blades get brokey, which is sad to Cole. But Vanya, Wu, and the guards from upstairs arrive. Whoa, a second action one take? You love to see it. Cole is getting bullied, but he remembers what his mum said to him in the flashback. This inspires him to make a final stand using the Spinjitzu burst. He destroys the evil skull, so in turn, every skeleton is toast. This was a cool scene and all, but this is the only time we see the burst. Vangelis is arrested, and Vanya is promoted to Queen of Shintaro. Everyone says their goodbyes, and Lloyd apologizes to Vanya for not trusting her. That was so long ago, I completely forgot about it. The gang leave in the rebuilt bounty, and the season's done. Look, I think this season is pretty alright, but I don't find myself enjoying it too much. I honestly think it's pretty overrated. I do like that Cole gets the spotlight for once, and I like Corgran, but there was a lot more negatives. The pacing was shockingly slow, the events felt repetitive, and they introduced a cool idea in the Spinjitzu burst, but that never comes up again. But it's done and dusted, so next time I'll be talking about Tournament of Elements.